Imagine a life where your happiness isn't dictated by the attention, approval, or affection of others, where your sense of self-worth isn't tied to missed calls, unread messages, or the longing glances of someone else. This isn't an unattainable ideal. It's a reality that Stoicism, an ancient philosophy of resilience and wisdom, teaches us to cultivate. Too often, we fall into the trap of believing that external validation is the key to our fulfillment. We crave to be noticed, to be remembered, to be missed. But Stoicism offers a radically different approach, one that shifts the focus inward towards self-improvement, emotional independence, and a deep appreciation of the present moment. And paradoxically, by embodying these principles, we often become more attractive, more compelling, and yes, more likely to be missed. But how do we get there? How do we detach from external approval and embrace true self-sufficiency? Let's explore. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet transformative principle. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Your thoughts, actions, and responses are within your control. The feelings, desires, and decisions of others are not. When we base our happiness on whether someone misses us, we surrender our power. We become emotionally dependent on forces beyond our control, riding an exhausting roller coaster of expectation and disappointment. But by shifting our focus to self-mastery, we regain control. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from emotions or relationships. Stoicism isn't about emotional detachment. It's about emotional resilience. It's about loving freely, without needing validation, caring deeply, without fearing loss, appreciating relationships, without becoming dependent on them for your happiness. And here's the paradox. The less you need someone to miss you, the more likely they are to do so. Because confidence, purpose, and self-contentment are deeply attractive. A person fully engaged in their own growth and passions naturally draws others in. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of fixating on whether someone thinks of you, shift your focus to living a life of meaning. Build something worthwhile. Develop skills that enrich your soul. Create, learn, explore. Engage deeply with the world in ways that bring you genuine fulfillment. When you live with purpose, you no longer need external validation to feel complete. And paradoxically, that's when people take notice. People admire those who stand firmly in their own path, who aren't swayed by fleeting emotions or the opinions of others. Consider a person who spends their days seeking approval, constantly trying to impress or be remembered. Their energy is scattered, their sense of self fragile. Now compare that to someone who walks with quiet confidence, who pursues excellence not for applause, but for the sake of growth itself. Which person leaves a stronger impression? Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our attachments to them. We suffer when we cling to things outside our control, when we demand that life unfold according to our desires, rather than accepting it as it is. This applies deeply to relationships. We cannot force someone to miss us, to love us, or to stay. But we can cultivate a mindset that allows us to appreciate what we have without fear of losing it. When we let go of the need for control, we paradoxically gain more of it over our own thoughts, actions, and emotions. And this inner steadiness makes us more attractive, more intriguing, and ultimately, more likely to be missed. The goal isn't to be missed. It's to live so fully, so authentically, that missing you is simply inevitable. Become the person who is deeply engaged with life, who radiates self-assurance and wisdom, who doesn't chase affection, but naturally draws it in by virtue of their strength and presence. Not through manipulation, not through longing, but through quiet mastery of self. Because in the end, the greatest power you have is not in making someone think of you, but in becoming someone worth remembering. And that is the essence of Stoicism.